What is going on, everybody? It is Seifel, and in today's video, we're going to be making a Mike Dimes type beat inspired by his newest project. Let's just get into it. So you heard the beat there. It's a pretty simple trap beat with like some orchestral melodies. And we're just going to start with the loop I made. We're starting at 118 BPM, and this was the original loop. It was actually originally at 120. So I'm currently in the process of switching laptops, so I don't have all my VSTs on here. So I'll kind of break down the MIDIs and I'll show you what I did. All of the sounds in this come from X-Band. The sounds you want to go for are typically like real instruments, if that makes sense. So, you know, stuff like pianos, strings, brass, all that. He does have some songs which are like synths and more ignorant melodies, but that's for a different tutorial for a different day. The first sound was this flute sound from X-Band, just playing this. So here's the MIDI here. It's just a basic minor chord. And then I layered the bass note. So basically just copy the bottom note and then put it down 2 octaves just to give it a bass. And then what you could do to make your chord sound a little bit better is invert some of the notes. I'm sure you guys know this. I'm just going to quickly go through it. I like to use the middle note, and you could press Command up or you could press Control up depending on if you're on Windows or Mac. And then that moves it up an octave. Makes it the same chord, but it sounds a little bit different. And then we just have these transition notes in between. And that's just going down the scale. So another trick you could do is you could go here, and then you go to your view, and then you go to scale highlighting, and you select whatever scale you want to use. This melody was originally in minor, and then it was F minor. And then that makes it so all these like lighter notes in the background that are highlighted, those are part of your scale. So as long as you use notes in that scale, it should probably sound decent no matter what. And then at the end, it just is the opposite of that first part. A way you could do that is highlight whatever part you want and then press Option Y, or I think it's Alt Y on Windows, and then it brings up this, and you could just flip it horizontally. The second sound is the brass, and I just layered these same chords, but took out the transition notes, so it's something like this. All right, now the next part is my favorite part, and that's the piano. So I'll break it down part by part. Without all the extra stuff I added, it's the exact same melody as before. First thing I did was add extra notes here. You could add full chords, but I just added just the bass notes. And then I thought that was a little bit boring, so I needed a top melody as well. Again, just following notes in the scale, it really made it that easy. Then the last sound is the string. Again, all these sounds are from X-Band, and it's really just an accent. So once I had that loop, I brought it into FL, and then I slowed it down from 120 BPM to 118, which is what we're at now. And then I pitched it down 1 semitone. So now instead of being an F minor, we're an E minor. And I went ahead and mixed all the sounds, and I'll show you guys what I added. So for the flute and the brass, we just have an EQ, just getting rid of some of the frequencies. I think you should EQ all of your melodies, so that's pretty much a given. And then stereo shaper, just a stock plugin, which makes the sound more wide. Now for the piano, again, an EQ, like I said, that's pretty much a given. And then I just used one of the presets from Chorus just to give it a weirder sound. And I just turned the mix down about halfway, just makes it sound a little bit more unique. Then on that accent string, just an EQ. A lot of reverb and a little bit of delay. All right, now that the melody's done, the drums are pretty much super simple. I'm really just going for basic trap. Some of his other songs are more like Memphis inspired. Like they got like Memphis samples and all that, but that's gonna be a different tutorial. I really want to do that one. If you guys want that, comment down below and I'll make it. So for sound selection on these, it's really simple trap. You can find these in any kit, you know, basic 808s. Pretty soft kicks. I don't like the kicks that hit super hard for these types of beats. Basic claps, snares, hats, and open hat. You could add other percussion elements, but those are pretty much just the basics. So, you know, most trap beats just start with the basic clap. Now I'm just going to press Command B to copy that over. and then Shift D to shorten the notes. And then I'm just gonna copy that over to the snare. But with the snare, I'll add a few extra notes in between. For the hats, I'm gonna start out with a 2-step, so just right click, fill each 2 steps. And then I'm gonna go to the 1/6 beat. I think those work better for these types of beats, and just add some rolls throughout the pattern. Make sure you really mess with the velocity and the pitch as well. That's a really good thing to do in this. And I'm just gonna copy this over and change up the 8th bar. For the 808, I'm gonna have 2 patterns. One of them is gonna be really simple, and then the other one's gonna have a lot of extra notes in there, you'll see. So I have the bass notes from the piano laid out just for inspiration for what notes to use. So I'm starting with the more complex pattern, and basically what you wanna do is towards the end of every other bar, or every 4th bar or 8th bar, you wanna have the pattern more complex there. So it starts out simple with a lot of space, and then at the end, just you have something extra. So big space, and then a lot of notes. And then I'll have something else right here. Right here, if you just hold right click and drag down, you could change the notes evenly and velocity. And then for the kick, I'll just put that on some of the 808 notes for a little bit extra emphasis. For the open hat, I'll just put it right before every other clap. And that's pretty much the basic beat. Now I gotta make the second 808 pattern, structure the beat out, mix everything. My phone/camera is about to die, so I am going to do this pretty quickly, but practically go to your pattern, split by channel, and now you have everything in separate channels. We're gonna go here, duplicate everything, and then make unique for the 808s, and then make the simpler 808 pattern, which will probably just be something like this. And a trick I've seen here, if you have a note like this, then you could press Option U or Alt U if you're on Windows, then just create a big 808 roll and then turn the velocity slowly up, and then that will make a cool effect at the end. Other than that, I think the rest of the patterns are good, so I'm just gonna structure out the beat. All right, I kept it really simple for the tutorial. Basically, you just have your simple 8-bar intro, let the melodies play. Then when the drums come in, start with the simple 808 pattern, have all the melodies in for the hook, because you know your hook, it has to be like your main part, so I have everything in. For the second half of the hook, we have the more complex 808 pattern. Then when the verse drops, cut all the melodies, cut the kicks, really simplify it, so we just got the piano and the simple 808s going. Then towards the end of the verse, we bring in some of the melodies, bring everything back up, and then we repeat the hook with everything again, and then the outro is just the piano. I know that was really quick, but it's really easy. I'll do a full arrangement tutorial in the future. And I hope you guys did find this video helpful. With all that being said, if you guys did enjoy, be sure to leave a like on the video. Let me know what you guys want to see me do next in the comments below. I'm looking at all your tutorial suggestions. And thank you guys for watching.